Maybe you've heard that Senator Bob Menendez and his wife have been indicted. Have you heard that, Mr. Producer? Yeah. I think it's all over TV right now. They're getting treatment quite different, I would add, than Hunter Biden. And we'll get into this, but Menendez, so people know, he's not loved by his own party. He's a bit of a pariah. He is much more conservative on foreign policy than most of the rest of the Democrat Party. This is the truth. But he seems to have an issue with finances. But here's the thing. Having gone through the last several years with this Department of Injustice and these various U.S. attorneys' offices, you're going to hear from one of them. I'm not prepared to hang the guy and his wife based on what the prosecution says. That doesn't mean they're innocent. They can be guilty as hell. It just means I have a totally different mindset than I used to. Because all you're hearing and all that's produced, for the most part, is the government's case. Look at these texts we have. Look at these emails. Look at these conversations. Look at all the wealth that they've acquired. Maybe so. Maybe they're guilty as hell. I want to make that abundantly clear. But I don't know anything else than what the government has told us and what the media is regurgitating. I don't know another thing. Nobody does, do they, Mr. Producer? But let's start. Let's take a listen. Cut one. This is the U.S. Attorney, Damian Williams. Go.
Today I'm announcing that my office has obtained a 3-count indictment charging Senator Robert Menendez, his wife Nadine Menendez, and 3 New Jersey businessmen, while Hannah, Jose Uribe, and Fred Davies, for bribery offenses. The investigation that led to these charges has been run out of the Southern District of New York. The indictment alleges that between 2018 and 2022,
let's stop there
Senator
for one
Menendez.
second. Now, Menendez obviously represents New Jersey. He's from Hudson County. And so I'm surmising that the U.S. Attorney's Office in New Jersey handed it over to the Southern District of New York, or the Southern District of New York claims jurisdiction because maybe some of these businessmen are from New York and some of the transactions happened in New York. But the Southern District of New York, the U.S. Attorney's Office there is massive. And they can overwhelm any individual or would-be defendant with really unlimited resources. I just want to bring that up again as a point that people may not know. Go ahead.
The senior U.S. Senator from New Jersey and the chairman of the Senate Foreign Relations Committee and his wife Nadine Menendez engaged in a corrupt relationship with Hannah, Uribe, and Davies. The indictment alleges that through that relationship, the senator and his wife accepted hundreds of thousands of dollars of bribes in exchange for Senator Menendez using his power and influence to protect and to enrich those businessmen and to benefit the government of Egypt. The indictment alleges that Hannah, Uribe, and Davies provided bribes in the form of cash, gold, home mortgage payments, a low-show or a no-show job for Nadine Menendez.
It sounds like the Biden family almost. Next thing you know, they'll be telling us that they set up some shell corporations. I wonder if they got any money from Egypt. I mean, the Bidens got it from communist China. And that's just one of the enemy states and front corporations that were associated with China that they got money from. I'm just pointing this out because I listen to this, and this is pretty overwhelming. And then the Democrats say, where's the evidence on Biden? Well, Biden never took a nickel, but his family made millions, tens of millions. It's not like they didn't. They did. And they got gifts. And they had access to daddy as vice president. So I'm just sitting here saying to myself, okay, they're not exactly the same, but they're close enough. I wonder if they'll let any of the tax-related charges, and I'm sure there will be some, I wonder if they'll allow those to run, Mr. Producer. What do you think? Go ahead.
A Mercedes-Benz and other things of value.
By the way, right there, that bothers me. Why would you give him the Mercedes-Benz? Wouldn't you rather have a Lexus, Mr. Producer? Cut 2, go.
The indictment alleges that Senator Menendez took several actions as part of this corrupt relationship. First, the indictment alleges that Senator Menendez used his power and influence, including his leadership role on the Senate Foreign Relations Committee, to benefit the government of Egypt in various ways.
Now, this is what amazes me.
Among other actions.
Hold on now. This is what amazes me. Now, that would be a crime. In many respects, you're selling your office. You're selling your office. Okay. So what was Biden doing? Whether he's doing it for himself or his son or his grandchildren, is no consequence. What was he doing? It amazes me. Comes out of the same Department of Justice that pretends Joe Biden shouldn't even be investigated, let alone charged. Go ahead.
Senator Menendez allegedly provided sensitive, non-public U.S. government information to Egyptian officials and otherwise took steps to secretly aid the government of Egypt. We also allege that Senator Menendez improperly pressured a senior official at the U.S. Department of Agriculture to protect a lucrative monopoly that the government of Egypt had awarded to Hana, a lucrative monopoly that Hana then used to fund certain bribe payments.
Again, I want to remind you, this is one side of the story. And so the goal here for the government, when they file these charges, is to get out in front of the media narrative. Again, I'm no special pleader for Bob Menendez. I don't know him. I've never corresponded with him. I don't even know what he sounds like. It doesn't matter to me. I just have my antenna now up all the time. All the time. On how Hunter Biden was treated. And still being treated. With the lapsing of tax cases. The failure to appoint a special counsel to investigate Joe Biden. With respect to all these financial dealings. His son never registered as a foreign agent, and Joe Biden was helping his son every step of the way. He had to know something. And so Joe Biden's a co-conspirator in the violation of FARA. Joe Biden didn't have to receive a plug nickel to be a co-conspirator. Go ahead.
Second, the indictment alleges that Senator Menendez used his power and influence to try to disrupt a criminal investigation and prosecution undertaken by the New Jersey Attorney General's office related to an associate and a relative of Uribe.
So why isn't this case being handled in New Jersey? Again, I know what they'll say. There are some links to New York and these businessmen, but this particular issue, the second indictment, the second charge, you're talking about the Attorney General of New Jersey? Seems to me that's a New Jersey case. Go ahead.
The indictment alleges that Senator Menendez used his power and influence to try to disrupt a federal prosecution of Davies in the District of New Jersey in two ways. First, by seeking to install a United States attorney who he thought could be influenced with respect to Davies. And second, by trying to influence
let's stop that. That one I'd be particularly interested in knowing a lot more about. I really would. Because that seems very touch and go to me. That he wanted to install a U.S. attorney that would basically assist him and his business associate. So I'd want to know about that. Because that sounds like they really had a twist and spin in order to bring that. But I don't know. I would just like to know more. Go ahead.
Act favorably in Davies' case. And as we allege in the indictment, the senator agreed to do these things and use his power in this way because Hana was paying bribes, because Uribe was paying bribes, and because Davies was paying bribes. Fortunately, the public officials the senator sought to influence did not bend to the pressure. That's a good thing.
Mm-hmm. Is there one more cut? I don't have the cut list in front of me. Go ahead.
Now, as part of this investigation, special agents with the FBI executed search warrants on the residence and safe deposit box of Senator Menendez and Nadine Menendez in New Jersey. When they got there, they discovered approximately $500,000 of cash stuffed into envelopes and closets. Some of the cash was stuffed in the senator's jacket pockets. And some of the envelopes of cash contained Davies' fingerprints or Davies' DNA. That's not all. Agents also discovered a lot of gold. Gold
Can we
that
stop
was
a
provided.
second? Sounds pretty bad if you're Menendez, doesn't it? Sounds pretty bad. They're worried about public corruption. So am I. So if this guy's a crook and all this turns out to be true, goodbye. Where's all the money that Hunter got from the Communist Chinese and the other governments? Peter Schweitzer says it's over $30 million. Jamie Comer says it's over $20 million. Then there's money they got from other... Where is that money? How many search warrants have been issued to look into the Biden family's bank vaults, homes, drawers, closets? None? Zero? You see what I'm trying to point out, America? This is just incredible. No. Not that Menendez may be a big-time Class A crook. But look at the resources and attention paid to Menendez. Okay, great. Fine. And look at the resources and attention paid to the Biden crime family. How many search warrants have been issued? I guarantee you, none. How many safe deposit boxes at any bank has been searched? Well, we know of one case where the IRS was looking for documents, and the Department of Justice, the Assistant U.S. Attorney, Wolf, tipped off Hunter Biden's lawyers. Wow. Not serious? Anybody tip off Menendez's lawyers? Go ahead.
By Davies and Hanna. And the FBI, of course, found the Mercedes-Benz that Uribe had provided them. Now, the items that the FBI uncovered...
Didn't Hunter Biden buy a Porsche or something, or Mercedes-Benz, Mr. Producer? What was that? It's a Porsche? After some of the money he got for doing absolutely nothing? Is that a bribe? A bribe to do what, Mark? All right, let's stop. Let's grow up and act like adults. Why were the Communist Chinese, the Romanian government, the crooks in Ukraine, the oligarch, the former wife of the mayor of Russia, why were they giving tens of millions of dollars to Hunter Biden? Raise your hand. To get to daddy. Because he's useless. He's irrelevant, Hunter. And we don't even have an investigation involving Joe Biden. Not even an investigation. That's what this underscores for me.